welcome everyone to the recipe for perfect core forms with Lawyaw. I'd like to give a quick thank you to our visionary partners who sponsored Clio this year. I'm Liz Hudson. I'm a customer marketing manager here at Clio, and my favorite thing to do is teach new customers about new products and features. So I'm happy to be here to talk about Lawyaw today. So I'm actually going to start out about talking about preparing a cake. So there's 5 key steps that you have to do to prepare a cake. So there's the recipe, there's the ingredients and mixing them, there's the baking step, there's the decorating step, and then there's the serving and enjoying step. Now, preparing core forms is like baking a cake, with 5 key steps that you go through to prepare the perfect core form. First, you have to select the correct core form. And we've talked to a lot of law firms, and what that looks like right now is going to a court website and downloading core forms one by one and doing that repeatedly because you're always trying to use the most updated form. You're then filling it with the correct information, and what we've talked to a lot of law firms about is that Control-F, Control-V motion, filling out different fields across all these different forms in that way, which we know sometimes leads to typos and some incorrect information. Then there's the review step, and ensuring the correct formatting. As we know, that is a very crucial step for core forms because if you have the wrong font type, the wrong size, that could result in your core form being rejected by the court and then having to do this all over again. And then also the steps sending it for signature. So baking has a lot of rules. And if you have any of the steps, you miss a step, you miss an ingredient, you could just end up with a cake that's unusable and inedible. So core forms also have a lot of rules. And like I just mentioned, the wrong font, having the wrong information, having a typo, it results in the core form being rejected from court. So I'm going to show you how you can use Lawyaw so that this doesn't happen and you have a perfect core form every single time. So the recipe. So Lawyaw acts as your recipe book. It standardizes your core forms by allowing you to create reusable sets of core form templates that, like I said, your firm can go back, reuse over and over and over again. So let's see what that looks like in Lawyaw. So here we have a searchable library of up-to-date core forms. We're just going to navigate to the court form tab. And here you have your court forms all organized by state. I'm going to click into California forms as an example. And here is that searchable library. So you can search for court forms by form name or form number. You can also preview your core forms right within the app. And then this was a really big feature release. We heard from law firms across the board that they wanted to save court form templates with pre-checked boxes. So this year we made that happen. In Lawyaw, you can actually create a court form template. So creating a court form template, you can pre-select or pre-check all the boxes you would want in a specific court form that you'd be using for routine cases. And just like that, you've got your boxes selected, and now you can save this as a template for reuse by anyone at the firm. To further enable you to standardize your core form preparation process, you can group core forms you routinely draft together in reusable sets. You're able to search for the core forms that you'd like within the search bar. You can then add as many or as little forms as you need for the set. As you can see on the right, we're adding all these different forms. And then you're going to save this as a new set by labeling it with a good descriptor. And then this is what your firm can now search for whenever they're trying to do a routine case. All right. Now let's pop into Clio Manage so you can see how easy it is to draft a court form set right from a client's matter. So we're in a matter in Clio Manage. We're going to navigate to the Documents tab. And there on the very right, we're going to click that New button. And then we're able to draft a new document from Lawyaw, just like that. Okay, now for the second step of our core form baking process, the ingredients. With Lawyaw, you're able to pull information directly from Clio Manage from within the matter. So what does that look like? So like I said, we're following on from our last step. So we've just gone to draft a new document set from Clio, and now we're in Lawyaw, selected the document set that we'd like to apply to the matter. So here, we're going to choose our set. It shows a preview of all the documents within that set. And then we're going to draft a new document set just like that. In this view, it'll show you all the documents within the set that you're about to draft, along with the matter that's associated with the document set. And next. So in this view are all the fields that you are filling out across all of the document sets. So here we have all the attorney information of Andreas Becker, who's in Clio Manage. And this information is exactly what will appear in all the fields across the document set. So you've got attorney information that's getting pre-populated. We're getting petitioner information pre-populated, respondent, other parties, and the court. Now here's the cool part. So next to each one of these fields, there's a number associated with it. That number represents how many times it's being filled out across your sets of documents. Now, it's really easy to be able to figure out if there's a filling issue or if there's information that's missing with Lawyaw. If a field is missing or it's empty, you'll get a error notification next to where there is information missing or an error. Once that field is filled again, or that error has been resolved, you then see a line of green checks down that left side column. All right. And now we're going to generate the document with all this information that we pulled from Clio Manage. So here's all the documents in that set on the right. Here's all the information that we just saw on the last screen. So all of the attorney information, the court information, all filled out. This is all the information that you pulled from Clio Manage within the documents, all submitted here. So we've got attorney information filled out already. You can see within this template here, this is the template that we created at the start. So all of those boxes are pre-checked. You don't have to check those off. As you go through, you can see all that information, like I said, filled out. Another cool feature of Lawyaw is in this step, you can now add even more custom information around the case. So we're going to add the degree that was obtained. And with Lawyaw, when you're adding information into these fields, it actually auto shrinks it. So you don't have any overflow. You don't have anything that's cut off. And then within this step as well, you can also then check off any of the boxes that you wouldn't have necessarily had within your court form templates. There we are. So now we're on to the baking step, or the reviewing the document step. So we know that the approval process can be different at every firm based on your practice area, your firm size, or just even personal preference. So we have multiple ways that you can review your documents within Lawyaw and Clio. So you can choose to send this document back to Clio where it can be reviewed within the matter. If your personal preference is to do more redlining on physical copies, you can also download these documents as a whole set or a single document, like I said, for the approver to be able to redline. Or the approver can simply go into Lawyaw and just review it within Lawyaw itself. And now the decorating step, which arguably probably the most fun step. So correct formatting. So I looked up some decorating steps because I'm not necessarily a baker, but some guidelines for cake decorating. We've got stay within the cake edges. We've got avoid lines bleeding together, and also following instructions. And based on how this cake turned out, I feel like I very much agree with these guidelines. I think they're very applicable. And although I give all the props in the world to the person who attempted this, I wouldn't be so happy that this is the cake that was served to me for my birthday. So why am I going on about keeping within the lines, following instructions, not having lines bleed together? Well, because Lawyaw actually allows you to have all of the correct formatting as you're preparing your documents as you're going along. So like I said, there's that auto shrink of the text functionality. So you don't have lines bleeding together. You don't have things that are being cut off. All of your text will be shrunk down to a minimum 6-point font in accordance with court regulations. Also, every form that you're using will have the font type already pre-programmed in it. So you won't be using the wrong font. You won't have any of these formatting issues that potentially have the court form rejected by the court. All right, now on to the last step, serve and enjoy. I hope you guys got the pun of serve and enjoy. Yeah, okay, cool. So sending your sending your documents for e-sign. Okay, so now we're back in our document in Lawyaw and we're about to send it off for e-signature. So this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna simply click the e-sign button, which will take you to a view of all of the documents that will be included within this document sent that you're gonna be sending out for signature. Within this step, you can actually also upload external documents. So if you need a document to be signed along with all of the other core forms, you simply just have to attach it in Lawyaw and you can send it out as one complete set for the client to sign. Now we're going to add our signatures to the document. All you have to do is click Add Signature. You can then drag and drop the signature to wherever it needs to be signed on the document, select the person or the signer. And then we're going to add a date field. So this date field will be automatically stamped on the day that that signer signs the document. We're then going to add another signature for me, where I can have a already saved signature in Lawyaw. And then I'm also going to add a date field, which is going to automatically stamp with today's date since we're signing it today. And then this is the step where you can edit the subject line that will go out with the email. And then also, we suggest a quick tip is just to copy and paste the little blur that you can put into the body that you can reuse over and over again. And the next step and now we have our documents. So this is in pending state. You can actually go in and view your document within the document library. You can view it. And at the very bottom of this document, once it's been signed, is you have an audit trail. So I signed this document today. I have an audit trail of my email, the time, and the IP where it's signed. So this is our secure audit trail that you have the functionality. So that was the recipe to perfect core forms with Lawyaw. I'm just going to reiterate the 5 key steps. So first, we have that you can standardize your core form sets with Lawyaw. So that means you can create reusable sets, and you can also create core form templates with pre-checked boxes for all of your routine core forms. You can then autofill those sets with information from Clio simultaneously. You have an easy review process where you can review them within Lawyaw. You can download them for redlining or just review them in Clio. We then will have correct formatting in terms of your font type, the font size, in compliance with the courts, and then you also have your audit trail and court-compliant e-signature. So next up, we have a session on how to get the most out of Lawyaw and Clio Manage. Since this was a bakery-themed session, we also do have a very sweet treat over at the Lawyaw booth. We have some amazing Nashville cake pops. They're awesome. I did test one out. They're really good. So please come in and join us over there, get a cake pop, learn a bit more about Lawyaw. And also wanted to mention, we do have a exclusive offer at ClioCon, which is 15% off of Lawyaw's monthly subscription. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much. Have a great day.